The Saudi king, and that's the key phrase, the Saudi king orders an internal probe of the Khashoggi case. This has, of course, been an ongoing story, a changing story for those of you just waking up to the news. James Dimon of J.P. Morgan will not attend their meeting that's been widely understood. Steve Schwarzman of Blackstone, I'm not sure what he stands, but now, Francine, we really begin to go to the royal family's response to this murder believed to be in the consulate in Istanbul.
Yeah, so for the moment, we're treating it as a disappearance, Tom. What we know in the conference is that also a lot of partners have pulled out, including Bloomberg. So that's an important disclaimer as media partners. But the story now is, according to a Saudi official, Saudi Arabia has begun this internal investigation into the disappearance of this prominent journalist. What I imagine is that this could have wide-ranging implication. I don't know whether, Tom, this is enough to actually appease the Trump administration, who has been talking quite tough on this disappearance, asking questions to actually be answered. But let's go straight to Dubai and to our very own Yousef Gamal El-Din. Yousef, what did we know that was happening previous to this? Was there an investigation? And the fact that now the Saudi king is weighing in, saying, guys, you really need to look into this. Depending on what they find, will it be a real investigation, and will there be repercussions?
I mean, it's first very important to point out that there's been a slight change, a slight shift in position on the story. The Saudi Crown Prince, in his interview with Bloomberg Television, made it clear that, well, you're looking here at a member of the family kind of situation that left the consulate. So the journalist apparently had left the premises. Now they're saying, well, we're going to make an internal investigation, and if the evidence warrants it, then there could be further consequences. The other key part of this, and I want to point this out, is that the prosecutor, we understand, has been asked to expedite this. So you're looking possibly at a disclosure of additional details, maybe the outcome of this internal investigation, before the end of the week. We tried to reach out to the Saudi government for comment. We haven't gotten any response so far on the story. Guys?
Yousef, when I look at the news flow here and the delicacies right now, what was the pressure on Saudi Arabia? Did it come from the Trump administration? Did it come from the business world? Or did it come internally within the Saudi royal family?
It appears to have come from all sides, and clearly the Saudi government felt compelled that it had to move, and that the lack of a clear response in the previous days was only going to lead to sort of a deeper vortex that pulls them down a hill and down the cliff, pushes them off the cliff, as it were. It's not a road they wanted to go down on. So this latest move in terms of opening up at least the possibility of some form of investigation. Again, this is not an admission that anything happened on the premises, but it's no longer an exclusion either. And so they're going to do the investigation and see what comes of it.
You know, Yousef, I understand it's an ongoing story, and our Vivian Nerium with the story out moments ago on Bloomberg. But I think within the article, which I just skimmed very quickly, there's even a debate about murdered incident, non-murdered, non-incident. What is the language that is appropriate here?
Well, they just refer to it as an incident. There's no, again, this goes back to my previous point, which is that it's not an admission of guilt. It is just that information has come to light in the conversations between the Saudi king and the Turkish president that has convinced the Saudis, well, let's look into this in a little bit more detail and see what exactly unfolded that day.
Yeah.
Guys?
Tom, I can clarify. So basically, for the moment, they're looking into the disappearance of this very prominent journalist. But of course, there were pretty grisly allegations of his murder by Saudi authorities, by the Turkish government. And that's what they're looking into at the moment.